Hello, Reformers, and welcome to a special feature of Sands of Faith. Now, a special feature is primarily to showcase a mod and to show you guys what it's all about. And so we are going to be exploring many of the facets of this mod, the gameplay mechanics, what kind of units we are going to be seeing, what kind of weapons and armor, and of course, the world map itself. And so, without further ado, let us begin our crusade. And as we... oh my, that is a lot of text right there. Okay, well, yes, this... you can pause right now if you so desire. I am generally not going to be reading all of this. It seems to all be technical-based stuff if you want to customize your experience a little bit more. Of course, I am not particularly wanting to do that right now. So, as we can see here, the main difference that we have when we start is whether we start as a king, a lord, or an adventurer. I can only assume that adventurer is the standard style of Warband play where you arrive as a stranger to the land and you acclimatize yourself and grow in power from there. And I can also assume that Lord is basically starting as a vassal of a particular kingdom, which sounds pretty cool. And then, of course, we can start as a king, which obviously means we are the lord of all we survey. So I think it might be a pretty fun idea to start as king, and as we see here, we are actually starting as a wide variety of different things right here. Goodness me, look at that. That is actually pretty cool, I've got to say. Wait a minute, I'd like to just go back here and see if we... oh. Okay, I actually have no idea... okay, I went back, and apparently it just went back and selected something for me. Not entirely sure what happened there, but... the cool thing about this is that you can randomize everything about yourself, as you can see right here. So let's just hit the randomize button a little bit. Ooh, yeah, okay, let's go with that. Seems pretty good. And so, okay, as a common man, you may face some difficulties establishing yourself as an equal among the Holy Land's great lords. Well, yes, let's become an adventurer then. Okay, so yes, this is the standard start, but as you could see previously on the menu there, we might revisit the king creation, just to see what kind of stat lines they actually give you. And also, we may also do a little bit of a segment on the Lord as well. But we're going to see how that goes anyway. And, oh, I'm actually unsure of a name right now, but let me think on that while we decide our stats. So, let's see here. Okay, well, we have a pretty decent amount of leadership right now. So I think we're just going to be going for the standard stat line that I usually always take, and that is, of course, to go for strength and intelligence almost immediately. Get us a little bit more in our skill points, and we're going to be getting some more iron flesh. We definitely need pathfinding because we're probably going to be running away quite a lot. And what else do we want here? Well, two-handed weapons. I'm actually unsure what we're going to be using, so I'm just going to try and make it as even as possible. And we are probably going to be calling ourselves something like this. Why not? I actually have no idea of a good name here, so... Aladdin Efferward, why not? That sounds like a pretty decent name for something like this, so let us now head onward. Okay, that is probably not going to do, is it? Let's try and find a good face here. Well, so far it is not looking too good, I have to say. Let's see here. Come on. We need something more rugged, I would say. No, almost there. Okay, how about this? Maybe something like this, but we need something with a big beard. Yes, almost. Okay, we're almost there. So, if we go back around, something like that is definitely going to be the way to go. And I think the skin is perfectly fine. Seems to be quite a handsome fellow. And we're going to make him a little bit older, not too old. And there we have it. Okay, so as we can see here, this is the Prologue, I assume. In the year 1185 of the Christian era, the war suffocates the Levant. Muslims and Christians coexist, distrusting and fighting each other. The Ayyubids have been gaining territory under the leadership of Salah al-Din, but Jerusalem still resists. New crusaders reach the Holy Land to reinforce the Christian armies and finally try a counteroffensive. In the meanwhile, the Seljuks have already taken Edessa and all the Crusader possessions in the north. This would be a good time to mention, I am by no means a historical or history buff in any way, shape or form, so do bear that in mind. I am merely showcasing a mod for a game right now, so I'm not particularly giving a lecture, am I? No, not particularly. So let us go to our court and actually see what's going on here. Okay, so apparently we are a poor merchant with a camel. Okay, well that's a very good start, I have to say. Our morale is low. We have 270 dinars in our pocket. And it appears, wow, it appears our camel moves very fast. Okay, so let's head in here and see what we can do. I am a little bit worried, I have to say. A little bit worried that we don't have any... Okay. Wow, this is a very sparse start, is it not? Look at that. We are only ourselves, and we literally have a crossbow and a short sword, and that is it. That is all we have. That is a very bare-bones start, I have to say, for the adventurer. Okay, well, let's just see here. Okay, so these guys are going to be attacking us. No doubt, are they? Are they going to be attacking us? Apparently not. Ah, they might be, in actual fact. Oh my, yes, they definitely are. Okay, well, let us... They see the banner you carry and decline entering service with someone who doesn't serve the same lord they do. Oh, really? I don't actually carry a banner right now because we're just some random fellow just wandering the desert here. So I'm a little bit surprised at that, I have to say. I suppose they are attempting to make it rather accurate. But by doing so, it is also a little frustrating because I have no idea which banner I am currently fielding. So there is that. Ooh, oh, here we go. Oh, well, yes, this is actually not going to work out too well, is it? During your day's travel, you come across a lone warrior traveling towards Arcus. From him, you learn that there will be a tournament held in the town by Grandmaster Roger. Well, we'd like to go and see you, Grandmaster Roger, but unfortunately, we are nowhere near capable of completing a tournament, that's for sure. Okay, yes, once again, we are still unable to recruit units, and I have to say that is somewhat worrying. Yes, quite a bit worrying in actual fact, and that is actually a castle. Okay, that's good to know. So let's head on to the next village over here. See if we can actually recruit some units before I run out of money, before we are able to even fight some bandits. Well, it may indeed very well be that I will need to maybe start as a lord or start as something to be able to showcase the mod, because right now, starting as an adventurer, if I am unable to recruit any units, is not particularly the best idea, is it? So let's just see. No, apparently not. Apparently not. I really have no idea. Well, I suppose the best thing we can do right now is take a look at some of the mod options. As we can see here, we do have the custom commander options as well. Goodness me, wow, that is just a huge variety of different options right there. I actually really do appreciate a good amount of customization, especially when it comes to disabling NPC complaints. Yes, absolutely fantastic right there. We also have a morale threshold on consuming food. And of course we can show the names of enemy troops and the names of allied troops. We can also show the HP bars as well. I actually like that quite a bit. Let's turn on the HP bars. And damage to enemies is on normal, of course. Now we also have diplomacy options right here. Look at that. Disable lance breaking, auxiliary players, and various other things here that you can of course customize however you desire. And then we have obviously the standard customization that many other mods do have, but it is very welcome in actual fact. Otherwise, there is a tournament system settings as well. Wow, this is highly customizable. I have to say I'm quite impressed at the customization. If I was able to recruit some people, then I would be, well, overjoyed by it so far, but it appears as though, yes, we are having some difficulties with that. Oh, disable tournament enhancements, disable automatic tournament quests, and set quest reactions to high. Current medium. Okay, well, that's good to know at least. And that appears to be that. We, of course, do have this, but we have no troops to deal with. So let's zoom out and take a look at the map as it stands right now. Now, we have gone to the dark green faction, we've gone to the blue, the purple, and the light blue. We have not gone to the red faction just yet, so I think we're probably going to be heading on over there just to see if we're able to recruit a couple of units, and let's try and avoid these Bedouins from attacking us. That would be fantastic. Really don't want to be attacked from anyone here, especially seeing as we don't necessarily have any way of defending ourselves. I'm actually really surprised. I think I've gone to every faction apart from this one over here. Yes, the Sultanate of Rum. So we're going to be heading on over there, it appears. And we'll see what we can do. Okay, so we have traveled all the way over to the west of the map, or at least it technically is the south, if I actually actuate the map correctly, but yes. As we can currently see right now, the only faction... Oh no, I have actually gone to all the factions apart from this one, and I have not yet interacted with a village just yet. So, let us interact with the village, and we're going to see whether we can recruit a couple of... Yes, apparently we are unable to recruit any volunteers from anywhere. I'm going to meet with their leader and see what I can actually do here. No, apparently they don't need any help with any tasks. So I'm going to assume that something is a little wrong with the adventurer selection, because I'm pretty sure this was the adventurer selection. As we can plainly see, we have no units, no renown, no nothing, in other words. And so I would definitely suggest that maybe what would be a good idea is, if this is meant to be and there is actually a way to recruit units, there may be a good idea to potentially introduce a quest. So for example, it would probably say something like, "Oh, no one is trusting you in this land. You must do this quest to prove yourself to this particular faction." But right now, there appears to be no such quest, at least right now anyway. I mean, I am highly not thinking that a lord, or shall we say this emir over here, will be happy to accept us into his faction. There is no way he will accept us. Is that true? We are a commoner, after all, so let's see. "My lord, I would like to join your knights." Yes, this is... Okay, so this is basically Freelancer, of course. So the mod does have Freelancer, which is fantastic. I really am a huge supporter of Freelancer. I like that. And I suppose, well, I don't really want to do that right now. I'd like to potentially join his faction as maybe a mercenary or something along those lines, so we could actually recruit a couple of units. But as you can currently see, there doesn't appear to be anything like that right now. So I suppose, as you see now, we can join him as a, well, as a unit that is able to fight with him, of course. And we do have now some helmets, Arabian shield, sword, and a horse as well, which is absolutely fantastic. But otherwise, we have literally no way of recruiting units ourselves. So are they actually forcing us into playing Freelancer? Because that is a little strange for Mount and Blade, because Mount and Blade for me is quite a choice-based system. It is about a personal choice, preference, decision making, whatever you want to say. But in general, I would definitely suggest something like a story arc of some sort. The way Light and Darkness actually did it was pretty nice, because that would enable you to, well, not so much choose what you did, but you had an overall story arc that you could follow if you so desired. Whereas right now we have no quest whatsoever telling us what's going on. So we literally only have one choice, and that is to participate in Freelancer. And, well, as you could see by the faction relations, also this has a really cool political map, as you can see. So hopefully we'll be able to see this. There we go. So yes, it does have a world map, which is absolutely fantastic. I really like when mods introduce maps, because you can currently see a huge disparity of land when it comes to the Sultanate here, as well as, well, the two Sultanates, should I say. And then, of course, we have a very small faction down here, and it's just really cool to see that. But, again, we have no way of knowing what is currently going on, and of course, we do currently have war with both Sultanates, which, well, actually we don't. Wait a minute, where are we? We are currently here, so we are at war with absolutely everyone apart from the other Sultanate. So I suppose that's reasonably good. Ooh, this would give me a good chance to actually look at the troop trees right now because, well, that's all I can basically do. I can't actually show you the troops in person. So here are the Jerusalem units. They actually have some really pretty nice knights by the looks of things. You can actually click on them as well, which is great. Really nice to be able to see that functionality here. And they do give you a brief overview of the skills that they have and the armaments they also use. They have some veteran crossbowmen and sergeants as well. Can we select another one? Yes, we can. There we go. Ah, okay. So right now it appears as though there are a standard amounts of different troops. Ah, here we go. This is where it gets a little bit different because the other two factions we just looked at have a standard veteran crossbowman, sergeant, and knight unit composition, whereas this now has a heavy knight, a horse archer, and a guard. So that is a little bit more diverse. We have some Templars, a sergeant, veteran crossbowman once again, and the same thing here. And then we have another horse archer here. Mamluks, obviously going to be incredible units. And then, of course, we have some mercenary units too. I am very pleased to see that they are riding camels. Fantastic. I do like the camels. And there's the outlaws, obviously not done just yet. And then we have others, which are over here. Not really anything to worry about as far as I'm aware. They're more bandits, in my opinion. So, yes, there's that. And, well, there's not much more I can actually look at right now. So, well, I suppose we will be restarting under a different archetype. Okay, so having returned to the character selection screen, I suppose it is a character selection screen, we will now be starting as a lord. And as we can see here, we can select a home realm. Well, I'm actually unsure what we want to do here. I think it would be rather cool to start in the smallest faction, because that seems like a really cool thing to do, because then obviously you can fight your way out and you get a lot of enemies to fight as well. So maybe we'll go with that. Choose your character. Okay, so apparently we do not get any opportunity to choose our own character, so that's a little bit strange, but I suppose we will just select one here. This is very historically based as far as I'm aware, so do bear in mind, yes, once again, I am somewhat not knowing about these things, so we'll just pick the top option, I suppose. There we go. Okay, so yes, we can change his name, can we? Yes, we can change his name, but I suppose for this demonstration I will leave it just as it is. Now let's see. We want to improve a certain amount of things there. Let's get some prisoner management, some pathfinding. His tactics skill is fantastic, so I'm pretty happy with that. And obviously he does have some very nice one-handed, two-handed, and polearm proficiency. Not very good at ranged combat, so we're going to see how well that is. And I think we'll be randomizing once and going ahead with it. Okay, so let's go to our court. Okay, so we are starting off with 7 units this time, but we have 2,500 dinars, and these are knights. Do bear that in mind. They are knights, cavalry in actual fact. And so, let us head to the nearby village and recruit some volunteers. There we go. Now, that is just fantastic. Very nice to see that we are instantly able to recruit a couple. Now, if we go to another person's village, another faction's village, of course, now we are unable to do anything with them, with their recruits, of course, because we do not fly their banner. So that makes much more sense, in my opinion. So right now, I would definitely recommend playing as a lord or a king in this mod, unless I obviously missed something. But as a new player to the mod, I would have thought that the game itself would have introduced me to some of the new gameplay mechanics if there were something like that introduced in the mod itself. So, yes, here we go. Now we do get an opportunity to change commander if we so desire. Obviously we cannot right now because we have no companions or anything like that. We can plan our battle with the enemy as well, as you can see here. So if I wanted to repeat a particular command, or for example for them to go forward or whatever the case, then we could very easily do that. And otherwise, I think that should be fine. So let's just move them forward a little bit. Let's prepare the orders. Actually, wait a minute. Why does this... Ah, there we go. That's what we want to do. So we have both of these. Let's tell them to hold position and then move forward and then stand closer a little bit. And we can tell them to go in a wedge formation as well. I don't even know whether it will make any difference, to be honest, because we don't really have too many cavalry right now. So, let us prepare those orders. Thank you. And we will now be dispatching the orders. There we go. So, let us go to battle. 12 troops against 6 Bedouin. So we should, in theory, be fine. We are using a very nice banner. I have to say that the banner itself is fluttering in the breeze, which I have to say is a nice addition. I don't believe I've actually seen that before, so that's pretty cool. And let's see now, where are we looking? Ah, there they are. Okay, so the maps are also quite unique in the way that obviously the desert is done. I actually really appreciate that, because the standard desert is somewhat bare and quite a standard looking texture, whereas this is a little bit more detailed, which I have to appreciate. And, oh, apparently our armed pilgrims decided that they would just like to charge straight on in there. Okay, well, let us just charge straight on in ourselves and see what we can do here. I'm going to get out my sword, thank you very much. I'm quite surprised that they did not yield to my orders, because I did actually give them orders, believe it or not. I gave the infantry and the cavalry orders, so I'm quite surprised, but whatever the case, let's try and take out as many of these guys as we can. We seem to actually be getting a couple of kills here as well. We are level 9, however. I think we are level 9? Was that true? Well, we're going to take a look after this. Actually, I could just take a look. No, we are level 1, so that's fantastic. We will be able to get a couple of level ups here, which I do appreciate. Now, let's see if we're able to eliminate that guy. There we go. As soon as our knights got in on the action, everything went perfectly swimmingly. But there it is. Okay, so yes, we do actually get a kill count as well, so we can tell how much damage we are doing, which is good. So now let's see here. Okay, we definitely don't want any of these things, that's for sure. We are going to just be selling them, thank you. Very nice. Okay, so there's some dinars there, and that actually pays for some of the units that we lost in that previous battle. Okay, so I suppose selecting the smallest faction probably not the greatest idea, considering there's only a handful of villages in the area. But I suppose, yeah, we'll see what that is like. Okay, so yes, one thing I've noticed is that it does say that the costs are actually 300 dinars, but right now I'm only paying 30. So I think that is a slight display error there, but easily fixed, I would say. And so let's head on to this next village and see what we can do. Okay, yes, there we go. That's fantastic. That's what we like to see. So I'm going to try and find some more Bedouins, and we'll try and see if we can do battle with them. Okay, so the one thing that we haven't actually done just yet, I did say that I was going to fight some Bedouin units, but I feel as though that might be quite the waste of time, when we could actually just head into our own town. This is our town right here, believe it or not. I went into notes, and I went to our character right here, and as you can see, we are the Lord of Tortosa, which is right next to us right here. It has 293 units in the garrison. So if we head over to manage this town and manage the garrison, we are basically now easy mode. Yes, this is very, very nice indeed. I am very happy to see that this is here, because otherwise I have no idea how we would be able to field such an amazing army. So yes, we'll just take as many units as we can get, and then we'll be heading on. So yes, also you can of course sort the defenders how you wish, which is actually pretty nice to see. Pretty nice customization, I gotta say. And then we can of course recruit some troops. I have already placed a couple of pieces of, well, money and currency in there, and we're going to be recruiting once. And you can of course build a bunch of other things here as well, if you so desire. We can head into the tavern as well, if we want to take a look and see about the book merchant and a traveler. There's a huge amount of units in here. I suppose we could potentially get some companions, maybe? Well, let's speak to this fellow. Ah, he's an engineer. Oh, well, that's fantastic. Where do you need to go? How much do you have? Ah, well, I can't apparently take any more units. No, I can't. Okay, well, whatever the case, let us take a look and see the faction relations. So we are currently at war against both sultanates. So we are going to be heading on down there and taking on a couple of their units. That seems to be a good idea. So, yes, we can now appoint a prominent nobleman, and that is a chancellor, of course. We have no more food left. Who would have thought it? So let's head into this town here, and we'll buy some food before we run out of money. There we go. Thank you very much. Seems good to me. Okay, so also we need to be a little bit careful about how much money we're currently spending, but of course this is a special feature, so I don't really have to worry about those things, as you normally would, of course. So now we have these pirates. Oh, they're running away. Yes, of course they are. So let's see if we're able to find a vassal of our opponent. And we're going to do some battle with them. Even if we lose, it doesn't particularly matter, because of course we are going to start as a king after this particular showcase here. So let's see if we're able to find some of them. We have a huge amount of Bedouin units here. Okay, well, what we could do is actually raid something. We could try and actually take a castle as well if we wanted to get into the mid-late game already. That's pretty fast. And oh, apparently something is going on here at our town. A mob of angry Tortosa dwellers are complaining about corrupt collectors, or tax collectors in actual fact. They demand justice. The situation is getting worse by the minute. It looks like a riot is about to begin unless you do something. Oh well, begin an investigation and compensate the peasants for their loss. So that means we lose 300 dinars. Yes. Everything seems to be bleeding us dry right now. Okay, so there's 205 in here. I'm going to besiege it. Let's go. Why not? Let's get one of their vassals out of the woodwork if we can, and we'll see what happens when we get into a battle with them. Okay, apparently nothing, because we just built this very, very quickly, by the looks of things. Okay, so let us lead our soldiers in an assault against 205 units. I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to at least show off a little bit more of what the mod has to offer before we switch to the king. And as we see, it is showing off something mighty fine right now. One of the strong points of the mod so far is the fact that it appears as though every castle and town has a unique layout. And it seems to be that we will be able to... Oh, maybe I got a little bit ahead of myself. I'm not entirely sure right now. I need to get to the top of that ladder to actually see what's going on there, but I was anticipating actually running through that wooden gate over there and running through the town, but maybe we will have to go up that ladder over there and we'll see what the layout is like once we get inside. Most of our units do have shields, which is fantastic, so hopefully we will be able to survive as we make our way closer and closer to the walls. Let's just see. Maybe we'll be able to, maybe we won't. Well, let's just find out whether we're going to be headshot at some point, because no doubt there is one archer out there that is priming his arrow specifically for our head right now. So let's be a little bit careful here. Oh, goodness me, yes. These armed pilgrims are probably going to be killed very, very quickly and easily, of course. Okay, this is going to be a very painful experience by the looks of things, because we have a very thin ladder indeed. I was hoping that we would maybe have a double-laned ladder or something along those lines, but yes, this is going to be rather difficult, I feel. Maybe if we're just able to get inside, that would be a good thing at least, because then we'd be able to see what's going on inside there. Okay, oh my, okay, well, there's a lot of units right here. And as you can hear, we have some custom sound bites as well, which is rather nice to see, and... yes. It is not a special feature without me falling off a ladder at least once. And at least is the key word right there, so do bear that in mind. Now, at least we got a little bit of a look at the custom sound bites, and hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit more inside the castle itself once we have eliminated more of their units, if we are even able to do that. If we're not able to do that, then I would say that we are going to be incredibly unlucky, but of course we are outnumbered right now. We only have 45 against 96 on the battlefield, so let's just see what we're able to do here. Okay, so as you can see, the layout of the castle is actually Well, very brutal, should I say. Very brutal for the offensive forces, that is for sure. A huge amount of units right here. And of course we do have a staircase for potential bottlenecks and so forth. But now we are proceeding deeper into the castle itself. And we are no doubt going to have quite a few difficulties in penetrating their next defenses. But we're going to try and see if we can do just that. Maybe we'll be able to. Maybe we won't. Well, right now, oh yes, it does have some unique siege layouts. I actually really appreciate that. And I gotta say, that's really nice to see, because I was a little bit worried it might be somewhat more standard, but it is a lot better than I anticipated. So that is fantastic. Very, very nice to see that indeed, because right now, this is the kind of battle you want to be waging, not the kind of battle that native or various other amount of mods usually do. So it is very, very cool to see this now. And of course we have no way of dealing significant range damage, so I'm just going to have to wait here and, well, see what happens. But right now I could potentially, just jump on by here and actually take a look around. Now, as you can see, obviously we would have no way of, we could potentially utilize the walls for our archers. We have quite a few crossbowmen after all, but yes, obviously I'm already making plans for taking ownership of this place. And yes, well, let's just head up the stairs here, see what we can do. We are eliminating a good amount of units right now. It seems as though we have torn through their, well, reasonably high tier units, and now we are getting to the lower tier ones. And this appears to be the final destination where you would run through and obviously eliminate the last remaining forces of any kind of enemy, I suppose. And yes, there it is. Wow, this is actually really cool. I do like that. I am approving of the siege layouts. That is for sure. Yes, actually very good. There we go. And it appears as though our forces are still fighting tooth and nail down there. So, I guess, considering we have now seen one of the layouts, I am going to be switching to a king. Okay, so we're back on the character creation screen. And, well, we will inevitably choose the final option, which is, of course, to start as a king. And, as before, we are most likely going to be starting with the top option, because I have no preference whatsoever here. There we go. Let's do it. Okay, so let's see. He has a relatively similar stat line, which is perplexing. I was thinking that maybe there would be a little bit of difference with the stat lines, perhaps, but it appears not right now, anyway. Maybe in the future. And let's get one in inventory management there. We've got some good pathfinding already. And there we have it. That seems pretty good. So, yes, we can now continue. Let's do a couple of randomizations there. And we will now go to our court. So, yes, we are now part of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. And as we can see right here, it has an overwhelming amount of forces right now. So we could potentially take these knights. We could take this infantry band. And we already have the max amount of units that we can currently have. And, of course, we start with 5,000 dinars and some honey to take with us. So, yes, there it is. That's a little bit of a look at Sands of Faith. And, well, I'm actually half and half right now. I have to say that the adventurer selection, unless I did it incorrectly, was a little lacking in my opinion. But the other two options are sufficiently fun, in my opinion, to make this worth a download, worth a look, and I'd highly recommend taking a look at least. Well, as long as you choose the Lord or the King options. Choosing the Adventurer, probably not a good idea right now. But there it is. A little look at Sands of Faith, and so I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.